You'd think avoiding your stepbrother would be easy when he barely speaks to you. But when every wall you build, he walks through like smoke, things get complicated fast. I moved to San Diego for a fresh start. College was supposed to be the place where I figured out who I was, maybe made a few mistakes, maybe even kissed a few boys without the world ending. But instead, I got stuck with him. Julian, my new stepbrother, the man my mom married into money last summer, who came with a son that looked like he stepped out of a Calvin Klein ad and carried all the warmth of a glacier. We were supposed to ignore each other. That was the unspoken agreement. But then he showed up at my university, transferred in. Same classes, same campus housing, same suffocating air. Every time I turned a corner and saw him leaning against a wall, arms crossed, watching me with those unreadable eyes. He never said much, but he didn't have to. Every look burned. Every silence screamed. Every moment alone with him felt like the beginning of something I wasn't supposed to want. And yet I kept wanting it anyway. Julian wasn't just cold, he was calculated. Like he knew the exact amount of attention to give to keep me spiraling. Sometimes he'd brush past me in the hallway, close enough to feel the heat of his skin. Other times he'd ignore me for days, only to show up when I least expected it, like a ghost that refused to leave. I thought I could handle it. I told myself he was just messing with me, that he hated me, that this was some twisted game he played to stay in control. Until the night I saw him cry. It was late. I had come home early from a party, too drunk and too tired to care about keeping quiet. But as I fumbled through the front door, I found him sitting on the couch, head in his hands, shoulders shaking in a way that terrified me. I had never seen him like that. "I didn't mean to be this way," he said, not looking at me. "But I don't know how to stop." I didn't ask what he meant. I didn't need to, because I felt it too, that pull, that ache, that unbearable nearness. We were both drowning in the same ocean, just pretending we weren't. Things got worse after that. Better, maybe, if you asked the version of me that liked waking up to the sound of his footsteps and falling asleep wondering what his lips would taste like. But worse in every other way. We kissed for the first time in a parking garage. He'd been jealous of some guy I'd gone on a date with. Not that he admitted it. He just showed up out of nowhere, slammed his palm against the concrete beside my head, and whispered, "You really want someone who'll never understand you?" I didn't have time to answer before his mouth was on mine. It was messy, angry, desperate, but it was real. And after that, everything changed. He started walking me to class, waiting outside my dorm, watching out for me like he cared, like I was his. Except I wasn't. Not really. Not when everything we did had to stay behind closed doors. Not when we couldn't be seen, couldn't touch, couldn't even look too long without someone wondering why. Then came winter break. We went home to find our parents beaming about their first Christmas as a blended family. There were lights and laughter and everything that should have felt warm but didn't. Julian barely spoke to me that week. His walls were back up, higher than ever. So I confronted him, cornered him in the garage with shaking hands and a heart that felt ready to bleed out. "What are we doing?" I asked. "Because I can't keep pretending this doesn't mean anything." He didn't answer at first, just looked at me like I was something fragile he didn't know how to hold. Then he said the one thing I hadn't expected. "I'm scared of what I'd do for you." The confession should have scared me too. But it didn't, because I already knew what I'd do for him. I'd wait. I'd fight. I'd burn every rule we thought we had to follow just to be with him. Spring semester hit like a reset button. Julian transferred out of one of our shared classes, saying it was too distracting. He stopped touching me in public, stopped texting, stopped everything. But he couldn't stop looking. He couldn't stop finding excuses to be near. And I couldn't stop needing him. Eventually, the dam broke. We had a project together for a psych class. We met up late in the library, the place nearly empty. He kept glancing at me like he was afraid I'd disappear. Finally, I asked, "Why do you keep pushing me away when you know I'd stay?" His voice cracked. "Because if I keep you close, I don't know how to protect you from me." That night, we didn't sleep. We just held each other in the dark like maybe that would be enough. But secrets rot. And the longer we kept ours, the more it started to hurt. Someone saw us a roommate, I think, and rumors started to spread. Whispers in hallways, stairs, judgments. Julian told me we should end it, that it wasn't fair to either of us. I told him I didn't care. I'd rather be hated with you than safe without you, I said. He didn't kiss me then. He cried. Our parents found out a month later. Not from us, from a friend of the family who just thought they should know. There was yelling, disbelief, the whole "you're not really related but it's still wrong" kind of speech. But they didn't throw us out. They just asked if this was real. And Julian, for the first time, didn't flinch. Yes, he said. He's everything. It wasn't easy after that. Nothing magical fixed itself overnight. But things got quieter. People moved on. And so did we. Now, I'm lying on the beach with him, our legs tangled in the sand, the waves crashing in soft pulses nearby. His fingers brush mine like they always do. Soft, subtle, sure. You still think you should have avoided me? He asks, smiling for real this time. I laugh. I think I never stood a chance. He pulls me closer, his lips a promise against my temple. Good, because neither of us is running anymore. And maybe love isn't supposed to be easy. Maybe it's just supposed to be real. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.